What's up, everyone? How's it going? I am in the country walking. Well, my dad's street is really, really long. It's about maybe a mile and a half down and back. So it's a nice little scenic walk too. I'll show you when I get past. There's like a tiny little, it's not really a trailer park. There's like maybe 20 trailers and then the rest are houses. Like my dad's is a house, this is a starter house. But yeah, that's why I like the country. They kind of like cluster the houses, end of the street, middle of the street, beginning of the street, and then you just have farm space. And then, country living. I've been looking into trailers and tiny homes. I feel like that's the way to go. Module homes. You can get a full-size home for your family for like $150K and like have a brand new, really nice, and you can pick it up and move it if you ever want to move to a different state. So, and it's just, you can get really cool recycled ones, solar, wind-powered ones. I'm sick of renting and paying over $1,000 for rent. I would love to have just like a tiny house. I used to want big, giant, beautiful houses, and I'm not gonna lie, if I ever came into money, I would pay a good chunk to be on water, but I don't need a big mansion. I didn't grow up in a big mansion, and if I have kids and stuff, I don't really want them to have a million rooms. Like, I want to talk at dinner, and when the teen years happen, that's when they start wanting space, and you have to respect it. But I want us to grow up in a normal house, no matter how well off or not I am when and if I ever do have kids. So I've been thinking a lot about homes, and I've been looking into a lot. I would love like a cabin on the lake, or get a little piece of land on a body of water and put a tiny house there and just be like in the middle of nowhere with my own lake. That would be beautiful. But anyway, I'm just like thinking in general lately. I wouldn't really call this a mindful message. I might do one on the way back, but like I've been really truly delving into why people feel hopeless right now. And I'm not gonna play into the Republican, Democrat, all that crap. Bike season. And we're the perfect road for bikes. Straight shot. Anyway, why is everybody so hopeless? No matter what side of the fence you're on, there's a lot of unrest with world stuff. There's a lot of unrest with like what our future is going to look like. Are we going to be able to retire? Like, why is everything costing so much? Just in general, just listening to people around me talking about stuff, looking at stuff online and seeing what people are about and what they're saying and how they're thinking about it. It really, like, how can we really help people if we don't understand where the desperation comes from? Fuck, it's hot as balls. It's like 90 and it's almost 7 at night. Sticky hot. Sticky hot. Well, at least the sun isn't blasting. Anyway. So, I think overall, people's most concern is how much am I going to have to work to sustain a good life? And it has people thinking like, is this what we're here to do? Like, are we literally just supposed to wake up every day, go to work, come home, see our families briefly, do the things that we enjoy doing briefly, and there's people that have the luxury of working from home, really finding their passions and making great amounts of money. Like, everybody is on a different spectrum, but I think overall What is the world going to look like? How are people going to make money in the future? And is it ever going to be enough? And, sorry, allergies. The hopelessness and despair comes from a lack of faith in an economic system, lack of faith in leadership to reform what needs to be reformed and create help to better the future. I feel like a lot of people feel like we're going backwards instead of forwards, which creates a lot of unrest and hopelessness. So we have all this unrest. How can we help? I don't think any of us can do much about who is president and who is not. I strongly feel I don't think the American people ever really had a choice in anything. And I don't think we'll have much of one in the future. So, gotta look past that. How can we help? What can we do to ease this hopelessness? And my answer to you is, what if you could do anything that wouldn't feel like a fucking job? What would that be? Do you want to work with kids? Do you want to work with machines? Do you want to work outside? Do you want to work with art? Do you want to work with animals? And a lot of things that I've been thinking about that I would need to go back to school for. So here I am. Picked the way to help myself through it, but then comes a new complication of affording it. Financial aid is a nightmare. Then you have all this drama with, tuition and stuff, and people getting their pay garnished, and there's a lot of stress about school. And realistically, as an adult, I have to look at it like I can't lose a 9-to-5 because I'm the only income in my house. I live by myself. So I would have to either go part-time, which you don't get a lot of help for at my age. And I'm not bringing this up as a slam. I just think it. I want everybody to be equal. So the fact that we even have the word minority, let alone get tax breaks for it, really pisses me off, because how is that an equal system for anybody? And if we're going to truly be equal, we have to set the ground rules as equal. The ground rules on any side can't be biased for change to come. So thinking about that, keeping in mind, we need to push our politicians to better a school program for older people who are now realizing we can't retire when we want. Money's hard. We don't want to work 3 jobs. We want to work one job that we really love to do and make enough doing it. And that's going to require I'm sorry, my brain tumor situation gives me, makes my brain trip out, and then my words don't connect up. That's the only thing I got from the side effects. Stepping into the wooded area now. I just love this street. There's a million different adventures all on one street. So push our politicians to give older people a chance to go back to school, as well as young people. We need to make it more realistic and more affordable to what going to school is like. Because if we make education affordable and we give young and older people the opportunity to go back to school, that creates hope again. Because they are putting into motion a betterment, a real change for themselves. But it's also going to help the country long term, because now we're not going to have shortages of doctors and nurses and shrinks and all the things that we need, because we did open opportunities for people who aren't taking school seriously, because it's just not affordable. It's not doable being able to live like there used to be a world where you could just go to school and work part-time. That world no longer exists. You have to go to school full-time and you have to work full-time, and that's really hard for anyone. And then on top of that, people with kids or disabilities, or don't have vehicles to get to classes and rely on online learning, which is really hard. I think we really need to focus on one thing at a time, and I would